Excellent. Everybody come on in. We're just going to take a minute and do the weather report. Thanks so much for joining our webinar, brought to you by Touch Day Digital Guidebooks. But first, the weather. Bello, let's start with you in Slovakia. What's the weather like today?
I didn't manage to Google the conversion of the 34 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit, so please help me out if you know.
Oh my gosh, I just know anything over 30 is like really high in
Yeah,
Fahrenheit.
so we are in the peak of the heat wave, so I'm melting literally.
Oh gosh, I think right now Missouri is mirroring that. Right now, the big thing is corn sweat, as they call it, where corns give off water, they sweat, and then it goes up into the air and creates humidity. And this is how they keep cool and how they grow. Normal thing. So when you've got a lot of cornfields around you, we get corn sweat and humidity. So it's like you walk outside and your lungs fill with humidity because it's only, 100% or so. Yeah. But Tim, what's it like on the East Coast?
Um, it's a pretty beautiful day. Low 80s, nice and sunny, not too much of a breeze. We're on an island, so I really can't complain too much.
Amazing. I need to get out there and see you guys.
Yes, feel free anytime. We'd love to have you.
Now, Lauren, I think if I remember right, you are Colorado, correct?
I am, yeah. I am in Grand Junction, Colorado, so it's more on the western slope. And yeah, it's beautiful here today, sunny, warm. We have that dry heat, so we definitely don't really experience the humidity, which I kind of love. But yeah, it's great.
Excellent. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining us for our webinar today. We are going to talk about social media, especially when you are super, super, super busy. And I have an amazing panel with me today, and we're going to go ahead and start with our introductions. Lauren, if you want to start with us.
Sure. Hi, I am Lauren Widmeyer. I'm the founder of Studio 82 Digital. We're a digital marketing agency specifically for vacation rental property managers. We've been around about 4 years, but my entire background has been in hospitality marketing. I actually started out as a social media and email marketing coordinator for a hotel management company in Charleston, South Carolina, at the very beginning of my career. And I was managing social accounts for over 20 hotels at the time, which was so fun.
Thank you so much for joining us, Tim.
So, hello everyone. My name is Timothy Johnson. I'm with Seaside Vacations and Sales out of Shingatig Island, Virginia, and Ocean City, Maryland. This is my first full year as marketing manager for the company. In the past, had a guest experience position, but my background is in marketing. Transitioned over to this industry completely off a whim. Came across a Facebook ad. I'd been teaching for about 6 years. Knew it was time to get back into what I really wanted to do, and stumbled upon Seaside, and I'm really anxious to share my knowledge, everything I learned in my experience, and learn from you guys.
Love it. Thank you. All right, Bello.
Hello, everybody. I'm actually not part of the panel. I'm Tyann's colleague from Touchstay. We've been working together for like past 2 months. We're very new to the company, and I'm here today as her technical support. So after the introduction, I will just fade away to the background and make sure that everything's running smoothly.
But I just wanted to introduce Bello to everybody because he is really cool. And I do want to point out that if they were ever to make a documentary about Elon Musk, I do believe they need to tap Bello's shoulder to play young Elon. I mean, I'm just putting it out there in the world. But Bello will be our guru behind the scenes for this webinar, and I very much appreciate his help. Thank you so much. All right, and then I'm Tyann Marcin-Cammond. I'm with Touch Day Digital Guidebooks. I'm the Queen of Guest Experience, and then I am also a property manager, just like I've got 2 brands in Missouri. Branson Family Retreats is my large brand, and then Missouri Haus Vacation Rentals over in Missouri Wine Country is my historic brand of properties. And I've been doing this for almost 2 decades. So a little while, and I started with just one. So I have done the whole gamut of doing absolutely every single job all by myself. And then now I have a small team that includes my family that we work very close together with. So I want to welcome all of you to Social Media in Minutes, effective strategies for busy schedules. And we're going to have a great conversation with Tim and Lauren and really focus on what they do. I am really looking forward to learning from them. And I do want to welcome everybody from all the different types of industries that have joined us. A lot of folks have reached out and said they're coming from different worlds, like the realtors are here. Besides the vacation rental folks, there might be some others, just small businesses or corporate. I want to welcome you guys all to this because this applies to businesses, period. And I would be remiss if I don't take the opportunity to tell you that Touch State Digital Guidebooks does serve all different kinds of niches, all different verticals. So check us out. Head to touchstay.com/influencers for a special link. If you do want to sign up, use the code QUEEN for a very special promo, and also to help us track that you saw us on the webinar. Okay, now we are going to go into our conversation. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the question box. We will get to them at the end of the conversation. So don't worry, just throw them in there. And then Bello is also going to be putting up a couple polls. I would love to get your guys' insight as well. So I'm going to start with Tim. But Bello, go ahead and put our very first question up. So I want to ask folks, how often do you post on Instagram or Facebook? And while you're answering that, Tim, I want to know, how frequently do you post to your feed and to your stories where applicable for Seaside? Now, but remind us how big Seaside is, and then maybe also talk about different things. Like if you had to do everything yourself because you're a solid marketing guy, so you come to us from that viewpoint. So just give us, just spill the tea. I want to hear it all.
Sure. So we currently manage just over 460 properties. I'm part of a two-man team with one of our co-owners, Elaine Stitcher, who's amazing. I don't know how she did this all herself before bringing me on board, but it's been an amazing time. But as far as social media, Facebook specifically, we're posting daily, at the very least 6 times a week. With having 2 markets, we have 2 separate Facebook pages. We're trying to post to each one. And then we also manage an Assateague Inn property page. We have some units there that we also manage their website, so we also handle that. But definitely daily, at minimum 6 times a week. I tend to handle 5-6 days a week. If I'm off for a couple of days or anything like that, Elaine will take over, jump in. She's very helpful with that. But we definitely try to make sure we're staying in front of our consumer bases, faces, and staying in their minds. As far as the reels, that's a bit more sporadic. Having the Facebook and Instagram integrated definitely helps along that front. We can just post on Instagram and automatically will translate right over to Facebook. So that definitely helps. But posting directly to Facebook feels on its own, that is pretty sporadic in all honesty.
Now, Tim, are you putting or scheduling everything like, okay, this week we're going to do XYZ on this day and kind of have a calendar? Or is there some more you just random posting inspiration? What is your guys' strategy, or is it together?
It's really a mix. It's bringing everything together. Anytime we have some new properties, we'll definitely try to schedule when we're going to introduce those, get them out to the fan base so we can start filling those homes calendars. But we do also have some stuff where we're going to go ahead and just do it spur of the moment. We're in the office, everyone's having a good day, it's bright, it's sunny, the park is open outside of the back of our office. We can just go outside and have some fun and really just get some content out organically. One fun thing that we did this summer is we had a Seaside Summer Olympics. So 2-3 times a week, we were going out, just having some fun, doing some crazy events, marshmallow catching, all types of events. We played Minefield in the back of the office one day. So things like that, we kind of plan them a little bit, just say, hey, we're going to do this Monday or Tuesday next week. Everyone come prepared. And then we just take a couple of hours. We had an intern that was very helpful with that, Julia, and she really brought everything together with getting everyone on schedule with that and bringing it all to home.
Thank you. So it's very interesting looking at the poll results. I don't know if you all can see it as well, but we have 73 people have said that daily is only 14% of you, only 10 of you. So right now, everybody has a real big opportunity to start doing more social posts. And I think as our conversation goes forward, you'll understand a little more reasons why it's important to hit those daily posts as well. So I'm going to end this poll now. And here, I'll go ahead and hit share results and you all can see it. And then Bello, if you want to go ahead in about 30 seconds, you can stop sharing that. So with that poll, Lauren, and you're in Studio 82, you're in marketing with the data and the analytics and everything, and you've been doing this for a very long time. Okay, we really, really want to know, how important is it for the host or property manager and their audience that you show up consistently online?
Sure. It's honestly extremely important to show up consistently online for, I would say, a variety of reasons. One reason is that the Facebook and Instagram algorithms actually take into account how often you're posting. Obviously, you don't want to spam an entire news feed, but having a consistent cadence of posting will actually help you show up higher in news feeds, and you are rewarded for posting more often and posting consistently. I think, another thing is that you're really building trust and credibility with people that are interacting with you online. So the more present you are, it just kind of shows that you're an active and engaged business. And then it's obviously just that brand awareness piece. The more you can stay in front of your potential guests, your past guests, just your audience in general, it's just really staying top of mind. So yeah, I would say it's extremely important. Oh, and one other thing I find really interesting too is how often guests will ask questions, like specifically on like a random post that you have or in your DMs. And so making sure you're monitoring those and being proactive about responding is so important.
So Lauren, let's pretend I am a perfectionist. Okay, we're not pretending. I am. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And I'm looking at social media and I freeze because I am such a perfectionist and I don't want something to go out there that isn't perfect. What would you say to a person like me who either A, is a perfectionist, or two, we just don't know, I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I haven't learned the socials yet. And it's like, I think I'm going to seriously mess something up. And again, I freeze. So what do you say to those people that they just freeze?
Yeah, I would say, I'm also a perfectionist. And so I personally on even my own feeds have an interesting time posting. It's much easier, I would say, on a brand feed. Definitely don't get the scaries about it. It's not that crazy. If you need inspiration, honestly, Chat GPT is amazing. It's like a great team member, I would say. If you even just throw in there, give me a couple of examples, and what are some cool hashtags that I can use? It will spit out content and really give you some creative juices to kind of get going. So I would absolutely say, use AI, use Chat GPT for inspiration. You do want the content that you're posting to be authentic. So don't just copy and paste. You want it to be written like your brand. So that is, something you want to make sure that you're doing if you're using that as a tool. But yeah, I would say don't get intimidated, keep it short and sweet, and yeah, use the resources that are out there.
Okay, so Bello, go ahead and do poll number 2. And this one question here, guys, do you make an effort to always have an Instagram story on your profile? And while that poll is going, I will say stories was the biggest thing for me to get over that anxiety, because I was like, oh, a post, a feed, it's gonna stay there forever. But the story, why would I do all that work when it's only there for 24 hours? And I'm like, no, I want my work to count for everything that I do. So that was my little entryway to Tyann. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just put it up there. Just do it. And it's a great way to test things and everything and just have fun. So I would say, if you're not doing Instagram stories daily, just have fun with it. absolutely have fun with it. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my next question for my panelists, and this one is to Tim. Tim,
Okay.
in your team, who is responsible for creating and then sharing the content? Is this one person? Is it one person creating, one person's sharing? How do you guys work that out?
Sure. So again, part of a two-man team with Elaine. We definitely coordinate on things, but it's really not any one specific person creating content. We had our intern this summer who was amazing at going out, capturing content, bringing together some videos that I can even use as B-roll, even in the off season. Elaine is always out. I also have Dropbox as a tool that I use with our entire team. I created folders, organized everything, Shingatig versus Ocean City, things to do, places to eat. So everyone has access to this. If anyone is out and they catch a sunset or catch some photos while they're out fishing, anyone is able to go ahead and drop some stuff in that folder, and then I can go back in and use that when the time permits and when we feel like it's the right time. Another thing that helps us with content is user generated content. Anytime guests send some great photos through Breezeway, which we use for our guest messaging, we're always reaching out. Hey, do you mind if we save this, share it on social media? It's easy content, get it out there, lets guests feel like they're a part of our family, which we try to always have that brand that when you come stay with us, you're a part of our family now. We've got repeat guests that have been coming back for years that just love sharing their photos. We love seeing their kids grow up. And then some of these guests come back and end up being homeowners with us, and we end up renting out their property. So just being open to bringing in content from different sources really just helps everything, especially during the busy time of year.
Tim, that is incredible advice. So later on, we're going to talk more about the user-generated content, but I really want to point out to everybody what Tim said about the entire team, that everyone has the opportunity to just have their eyes open to see what's going on, what they're doing around town. If they see that sunset, if they have an amazing meal at a local restaurant, if they see, I mean, you didn't say this, but I'm sure they might have seen a bunny rabbit hopping across the grass, and it's like everybody's got that, hey, grab something while you're there, because obviously Tim and Elaine cannot be everywhere all the time. And getting that content is really tough. And I do the same with my family. And, everybody's got that. Okay, if you guys see something, just take a picture, and that really, really helps. Although I am not quite as organized as you, Tim, for sure. Maybe one day I will be that organized.
It took some time.
Yeah. All right. So on our poll, I'm going to share these results that only 18% of you make sure that you have a story going on your Instagram. So 82% of you all absolutely have the opportunity to increase that as well, so that you can start doing that. Awesome. Okay. So Lauren, as Tim already said, it is really tough when it's busy. And I know that's one of the reasons a lot of the folks are here on the webinar, is how do they keep up with all of this, especially during the busy time? I mean, right now, a lot of us are really burnt out after a very long summer, being very busy, absolutely taking care of our guests. So how can a host or property manager, how can we look back, it's like, okay, how could we make sure that we can prepare to stay present for our guests during the busy season, yet also gather that content and make sure it gets out there? What kind of tips do you have for us?
Absolutely. Honestly, plan ahead. I mean, when you're going to be busy, when you're going to be just so stretched thin and like out in the field and not just sitting behind a desk. So make sure that you're gathering all of it. I would say more like evergreen content. Before a season starts. So something that you can post really at any time. It's just like area photos, reviews, featured properties, plan all of that content ahead of time. Use a scheduling tool. I would say there's tons of really great ones out there. Hootsuite is a big one. My personal favorite is later.com. It actually allows you to pretty much plan out your entire look and feel of your Instagram feed in advance and schedule out all of your posts. It also has this really great link in bio feature that creates almost like a visual link gallery that can link back to specific properties or blog posts or whatever on your website. So check that tool out. I can send Tyann the link so we can share that with everyone. But I think that's the best one, to be honest. And yeah, just if you're planning in advance and then on the fly when you're out in the field catching additional content that can supplement these organic kind of evergreen posts that you have scheduled, that would be my recommendation.
Okay, so if we schedule posts, how are we supposed to hop on these trends and these fads and get the latest music and attempt, and I say attempt because it's really hard to go viral. I had one go viral on TikTok earlier this week, and it just blew my mind that it did. And then I put it over on Instagram, and what did it do on Instagram? Nothing. Totally nothing. I'm like, of course, of course. So what do you have a rule of thumb or a special spot you look for, like what's going on right now? I know I always look for the little arrow next to music that's say, oh, this one's trending up. Those types of things. What else is there?
Yeah, I think like if you were using a tool like Hootsuite, it does show you, what is trending in terms of topics. Another thing that you can do, honestly, if you're looking more from an organic or holistic perspective, but using just more Google Trends to see what people are talking about could give you inspiration for conversations to join into and content to post. And then, yeah, I would just make sure that you're watching your competitors too, and just seeing, what's successful for them, what is, working for them, what are people engaging with, and making sure that you are staying competitive in the same manner.
All right, cool. Thank you. So, Bello, if you could do number 3, how much time do you spend engaging on social media? Hold on, people, as your business profile. Because I mean, we're all on social media as our person as well. And depending upon what type of business you have, a lot of times it could be you as a person is doing most of it versus your business. So, like me personally, I am out there a lot as me personally. And then my business also has a profile and it's not out there as much. And I, as all of you have do struggle staying consistent. But I think it's really important that we do highlight the fact that there are 2 different profiles, you and your business. Okay, so while you guys are doing that, I want to go to, let's see, Tim, how does your posting schedule, approach, or frequency change during busy periods, if it does? So what I'm saying is your your posting schedule, approach, and frequency during the summer versus doing during shoulder season or off season, or what happens when you go on vacation, those types of things.
Okay. So as far as the approach, we're definitely able to plan more. It's less sporadic posts. There's so many events. There's so many things going on. We're a very seasonal market for both here and in Ocean City. So just jumping onto a calendar a couple of weeks ahead saying, oh, Ocean City has an air show. We're definitely going to get out and get some content for that. Shingatig, it's the pony roundup. We definitely need to be out there, get this content. And then that content moving forward, we can use that content later on. The guests won't really know if the photo was taken at the fall roundup, the spring roundup. So really just getting out and getting the content is key there. But for us, everything really picks up at this time of year. So as busy as it may seem in the office, things can be a bit chaotic at times. It really is beneficial to get out and just, even if it's just for an hour, 2 hours, you'll be surprised how many photos you can get just walking around town or heading to the beach or heading to the mountains if you're in a Colorado type market. Just going out, you can snap hundreds of photos in 2-3 hours, and that can carry you for weeks, months, if not half of your season.
Okay, everybody, Tim just said you can go get content in just a couple hours and put it on your schedule, like time block it. Go out and get those photos, those videos, the B-roll, which Tim, explain what B-roll is.
Sure. So those are you say you have a photo where you're talking about a specific property and you're mentioning pony penning. That'll be the video that overlays on top of you speaking that can just show some ponies walking or swimming through the water or anything like that. That content is so valuable. It breaks up the video, keeps the audience engaged, and it's oftentimes really fun.
I'm a sucker for B-roll, honestly. I think, and without it, you don't have the full story. It's those bits and pieces that gives you the dimension to a story and a piece of content, honestly.
Right.
So I love that you pointed out that it is really important to make the time to get that B-roll. So B-roll versus your A-roll, meaning your main content. And scheduling that time out and thinking then when you do have inspiration strikes, because a lot of you said that you only post during inspirational strike. But make it an effort to go out and get a whole bunch of content at one time. I know I'm forced to do that is where I have, like you guys, Tim, I have my brands in two different parts of the state. And so when I'm in one part of the state, I'm like, okay, I have to get these types of videos and these type of photos while I'm here, but also while I'm working and doing inspections and things like that. So I am as one, a very small team, I'm always trying to think about what can I double dip with, and my family really helps me out. And it's like, hey, move out of the way. I'm going to picture this real quick. And so just being communicative with your team of this is what I'm going to do. And yes, we just did an inspection, but okay, great. That's awesome. Let's just take a little video and just kind of slowly turn like this. And look at that. You just got 6 seconds that Tim is going to throw in for B-roll. And Lauren, my guess is you're probably going to get some type of trending sound that goes over it, right? Bam, we just made content for all of you. That is awesome. Okay, cool. I guess we have a poll here. I'm gonna show you guys' results here. Let's see. What was our question? Time spending engaging on social media as business. I love seeing that 27% of you are doing per day. I think that's super important. And then those of us who only reply to comments on your own post, we have absolutely an opportunity. And a handful of those who said they never do it. Guess what? This is your opportunity to really increase and see what happens when you start engaging more. Lauren, this question is not on our list, but how important is it to engage with people?
Absolutely. I mean, it's extremely important, obviously, with the, like I mentioned, algorithm, but just being present and being able to actually answer a question. It doesn't need to be in, actual real time, but within a reasonable amount of time just shows that, you're proactive, you're engaging with your guests or potential guests or just your audience in general. So absolutely, it's very important to respond to people and show that you're engaged and show that you're active.
So with that said, Bello, go ahead and pull up number 4. Do you share guest content on your social media? Tim had previously mentioned user-generated content, or in short, UGC is what you might see it referred to when you go look at later in other articles. But Lauren, I want to ask you, how can us hosts and property managers encourage our guests to get involved in creating the content or even just tagging us in their social activity? Because we really, really want that. We know how important it is, but how can we encourage them to do that?
Sure. Yeah. I would say, I mean, you want to make sure that your social channels are in front of them throughout the entire guest journey, obviously on your website, on confirmations, on pre-arrival. If you're using something like a guidebook like Touch Stay, make sure you have your social profiles in there or hashtags that you want your guests to use and, your handles that they can easily mention you. I would say make sure you have, things within the home, like maybe it's a little welcome board or something on the fridge that has your social channels on there too. And then in a bonus, I would say is just encouraging, Instagrammable moments. If there is a place in your home that is really unique and really cool where people would be like, oh my gosh, I need to take a picture here and, post it to my socials. You want to encourage that. And then just making sure that you have that, the handle or your brand somewhere in that image, so people are tagging you, engaging with you. And then another thing that you can do, is incentivize them. So whether that's, tag us in something and get a gift card or a free amenity, or even better, if you offer 10% off your next stay, you're incentivizing them to create user-generated content for you, and then ideally getting them to come back and stay with you again. So encouraging that kind of repeat guest and that brand loyalty. Yeah, and then I mean, you have opportunity even after someone checks out to keep encouraging them to share content, post stay surveys, obviously if they had a good stay. Asking for that content and that social feedback.
I love that. One of the things we do is when they depart and they say, "Hey, we've left the house," and we'll, depending upon how friendly, how the conversation had gone throughout their stay, when we respond and say, "Thank you so much," home, we might follow it with, "Hey, if you guys have a family photo or photos you'd like to share with us for our family photo wall on our website, just feel free to text it to us." And then, a lot of times we will get them to send something. We did have one guest who, oh my gosh, they accidentally set the smoke alarm off. So we got a phone call that the smoke alarm was going off, and they're like, "What's going to happen?" And it's like, we told them, "Okay, the fire truck's going to arrive. This is what's going to happen. It's not a big deal." But after that point, because there was a moment of anxiety and we got her through it, all they did was got a lot of smoke in the kitchen cooking dinner. She started sending us photos. She's like, "Oh my gosh, this was the best thing." Well, guess what happened 2 nights later? In an 8-night stay, it went off again. This time she didn't call us. She knew what would happen. But instead we got photos of, guess what? We had the ice cream truck come and then the fire truck came again. And I'm like, "So does the fire crew have bets that they'll see you tomorrow night on your last night as well?" And she's like, "No, no, no, no. But here's a picture of all the grandkids with the fire truck." And it's like, "Cool, thank you." So yeah, taking that opportunity when you see it to ask for those photos is a really good thing to do. Tim, do you have any tips or tricks on getting that user-generated content from your guests?
Sure. So one thing is I love that what you just pointed about reaching out to guests. That's something I'm going to implement with us, reaching out to guests as we send those text messages. So thank you for that. But one thing that's huge for us here is we have two locals groups. So we have one locals group has about 58,000 people in it, and the other has about 30,000. So we're reaching about 90,000 people anytime we post in there. Being able to just go into those groups and say, "Oh my God, recognize this name," or "We're having such an amazing stay." Oftentimes people will like lay out the entire itinerary for their stay. We did this, this, and this on this day. We stayed at this home over on the east side of the island or on Main Street. So we're able to just see right then and there, "Oh, that looks familiar. That's one of our homes." We can just go reach out. And then as soon as we see the post, it's just a matter of reaching out. "Hey, we love the photos so much. Would you mind if we share this on our website or on our Instagram profile or Facebook or whatever the case may be?" So just having the confidence to reach out and just as Lauren was talking about earlier, just communicating with the guests. It's not just about posting your content and then leaving, just being really involved and intentional about being on the social media channels.
Very, very wise, being intentional for sure. I've just shared the results of what you all do. So lots of opportunities for everyone to take these tips and actually do reach out to their guests and see if you can get some more of that UGC or user generated content. But Tim brought up something about socials that it was hidden, Tim, in what you said, but I think it's really important because it is one of the ways I do get a lot of bookings from social media, because everybody's like, "Well, yeah, you got to be on social. We need bookings." And that's the whole goal, right? Is to get more guests, to get bookings. And what Tim mentioned was those local Facebook groups. And personally, that is one thing that I try to do. And yes, it is as our personal profile, is to get into those Facebook groups, because generally they don't care much for businesses. So I always comment as a personal profile and absolutely follow the rules, because a lot of times they say no posting lodging or anything, but you can answer questions. So being in there and answering questions and telling them like, "Hey, we have what you're looking for. Come visit us. Come check out our website." Or I'll even go find a specific house and say, "This house right here is exactly what you want. We have your dates available. Come check us out." And a lot of times within 10 minutes. I get a DM, we get a text, we get someone hitting the book now button. But it's one of those things that those aren't just cold things you're throwing out in socials. Those are warm and hot leads that you are seeing. But behind that is your business profile needs to be active and showing that you're truly a business with that you're trustworthy, that you're there, and you're not just someone who's got something out there. And having those consistent social media posts helps build that trust. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. And we're going to go on to the next question. Let's see. This one is for Tim.
Okay.
All right. So, Tim, how much of your content is outwardly focused? So, glossy, marketing, perfect, properties, locations, all this, versus the in the moment, behind the scenes, today in Seaside. I mean, I know you guys did a total newscast. I love that, by the way.
Yes.
And or the changeover, here we go. The changeover is complete. Here we go again. Here's the guest coming. How much do you have a split of that, or is it just how it feels when you guys schedule things out?
Sure. So it really is about 50-50. We try not to be just pushing marketing, pushing our homes too often. People will get overwhelmed with that. They'll get bored with it, in all honesty. So we do have to just create a balance. That's what it's really all about. So I'd say if we're posting 6 days a week, 3 posts maybe are focused on our homes and this is who Seaside is. And then everything else is really just the user generated content, videos of the beach or the ponies, or even if we're just at a home, but we're not specifically pushing, hey, this is our vacation rental book now, it can just be a view from the back if it's a waterfront property or a nice balcony with a look view of the White House or anything like that. So it's really just about creating that balance because again, if you're pushing homes and you're really just pushing your marketing, your business too often, it does get a little overwhelming for the audience.
Okay, so Lauren, pop question. What kind of data is there on what's the word? I don't want to say viral, but what gets more engagement? The glossy marketing stuff that's perfect, or those of us who just don't want to put that unperfect stuff out there, but if it actually does really well, then should we just get up out of our seats and just start posting? What kind of data is there depending upon which way you go, or as Tim said, balancing it out?
Absolutely. I'm sure you can find actual statistics that say that more authentic content is more engaging than just the glossy marketing. But I mean, you can see it absolutely, even just like in the analytics on a client account. If we're looking at Facebook posts that are, more authentic, like in the moment versus like this featured property. I mean, just look at the like counts, look at how many people are commenting. It's pretty obvious what's more engaging. I don't want to like downplay how important it is though to continue to post properties and links back to your website and share blog posts. They might get less engagement, but that content is like, it's valuable to your audience and to your credibility, but also just, to have those links out there driving traffic to your site. So.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we have one more question for our audience and one more question for you guys. So Bello, put it up there. Does your business have a TikTok profile? And then my question to Tim and Lauren is because people do want to know, what social media channels are you active on and why? And then after this, guys, we will get into the Q&As. You guys have got lots of great questions for us. So what social media channels are you on? Tim, I'll say what I'm on. And then Lauren, tell us what you're on, but also what you've seen in the digital marketing world, what's best for different types of businesses to be on.
Yeah.
So Tim.
Sure. So we are currently on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, which is one that I think people often overlook, but it's definitely valuable. And then this year we really took an initiative to really jump into YouTube. So we just had a couple of our first longer form pieces of content on YouTube. We started up a YouTube series called Live Like a Local. We're just not just focusing on the houses, even. We're going out and showing the people, the community, the people that we love, the reasons why you really want to be here. Because at the end of the day, people aren't coming to stay in a house. They're coming to go out into your community and experience your beaches, your mountains, whatever your community has to offer. And a huge part of that is the people. So just being able to diversify between all of those different platforms is huge. But we're active on all of those. And the whys, Facebook is our largest audience for sure. We have about 8.4 thousand followers there. Instagram, not exactly sure on that number. I'll have to get back to you guys on that one. TikTok was just recently started, maybe 2 years ago. We're about 1,400, 1,500 followers there. And a lot of that growth has happened this summer, actually. We went from about 900 to about 1,400, 1,500 followers there just this summer. So that's been really great to see. YouTube is really in its infancy, so we may be at 50 followers there, but we're getting good traction on our views and everything with that Live Like a Local series. So we're definitely happy there. And I don't have the numbers on Pinterest. I honestly don't track that as often as I should, but we're definitely active there. Anytime we get new properties, there's a new restaurant in town, anything like that, something new to do, we're always showing that on Pinterest as well.
Love it. All right, Lauren.
Sure. Well, Studio 82 is a little unique because we're truly just a B2B brand and we're mostly focused on other people's socials. So I would say, as a Studio 82, we really just post on LinkedIn, which is where the majority of the people that we want to interact with are. But that being said, we also always have just kind of evergreen social media ads running. So we are technically on Instagram and Facebook, so targeting our key audience. So we'll show up in people's news feeds, if they match specific demographics. And then, if we retarget people that have been to our website. So we're just making sure we're staying front of mind on those social channels. But it's not something that we are actively posting on as a marketing agency for ourselves. I will say for clients or property managers, Facebook and Instagram are, I would say, the two that are the most important, mostly because they have the most amount of users, daily active users. I think Facebook is close to 3 billion and Instagram is over 2 billion daily active users. It's wild. And the audience or the demographics of the people that use those channels typically fall more in the age range of people that are staying in vacation rentals. And so that's why I think those are the most important for this audience. And then I love that Tim, you brought up Pinterest because I think that that's actually so important. Not that you're going to get a ton of engagement on Pinterest, but it's like a very high quality backlink to your website. So absolutely always feature properties there. You can create, area inspiration. Like if you have a blog post, it's like top 10 things to do, just create a little pin, add a link, drive that traffic right back to your website. So I think Pinterest is a very easy, really great tool that is often overlooked. And then, TikTok is the big buzz, obviously. And I know I think that's after Instagram, I think that's the most amount of daily active users is TikTok. It's over 1 billion for sure. But the audience or the demographics there tend to skew younger. So if that's not right for your brand, I do think TikTok is a decent amount of work. And so just make sure you're being realistic with where you want to utilize your resources. And is that channel worth your time, or is it more worth it to post on Facebook, Instagram? You just have to weigh.
And I'm sharing the results now of the TikTok question where 17% of folks are over there. Drop your handle in there, or when I send you the email afterwards with the recording for those who are, oh wow. Okay. I forgot it does that. Then send us so we can follow you on TikTok and make a really good, strong community on there. Because a lot of times I'm just on TikTok to impress my kids, but it doesn't always work that way either. But us as a business, we are where our guests are. So yes, the Facebook on Facebook, Instagram. We've gotten into the TikTok more. I always keep saying oh my gosh, am I old or what? I was like, no, this is not good. We are on Pinterest, not as much as I would like. We're really trying to grow on there. And then I honestly believe, especially as a smaller company, someone who started out as a host with just a single property, it's very important for you personally to also be on socials and interact and talk about your small business. So me personally, I do talk about it on LinkedIn. I have Twitter, and I just try to make my presence across the board so that someone is interested and they can search me and find I am not a fraud. I'm not a scammer. I'm not asking them to send me a check for thousands and thousands of dollars and then I'm going to scam them. No, I'm truly someone out there, and there's all those different touch points of trust as well. And then of course I'm on Facebook, and we interact in Facebook groups as well as all of the other ones too. Okay, so we are going to your guys' questions. It says there's a big number of 22 questions, and I'm going to start at the top here and see what we got. So Karen has asked, how do we help over 60 age understand how to use this? Which I mean, she probably means socials overall. Lauren, do you have resources by chance with Studio 82 to help people to get started on this?
I mean, that's a great question. I don't have anything that's like built out or downloadable on the site right now, but I love the idea of creating something like that, like a starter guide. So I would be happy to create something, or Karen, if you just want to chit chat and learn, I mean, we're always happy to have discussions and show you around, I think. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so that means what you just said, Lauren, is that you're going to create a small guide for folks that are scared of using social media, and I'm going to lump those perfectionists in there too. And you're going to do that for us within next month? Is that enough time?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when everybody gets this email afterwards, they need to follow Studio 82, and we'll have her in the socials, because will post on her socials, and probably I'm guessing in her LinkedIn bio, to have that where you can click on it and get that information from her. And then of course, as she said, you can always email her directly too. Okay, cool, sorted. Let's go on to the next one. Shannon says she missed the code for something. What did she miss? Shannon, you missed the code that if you want to sign up for a new TouchStay account, a new guide, then go ahead and use touchstay.com/influencers. That helps us track that you came from the webinar. And then you can use the code Influencer Queen to get a special promotion off of a new account. So that is the code that you get to use. And this is, of course, will work for any type of guide, whether you're doing an SPA, standard property appearance, a standard operating procedure, SOP, a wedding guide, a digital area guide. For my realtors out there, this could be a pocket listing, or property management companies, it could be a lead generation guide about your area or about your services as a PMS. There's all kinds of different things you can do. Okay, next, Jeff. Are the companies that state they will grow your followers on Instagram guaranteed typically a scam? What do you guys think?
So it's either a scam, or they can actually grow your followers, but it's not quality followers. So it's pointless to do anyways, so because they're not going to actually interact with your brand, they're not ever going to stay at your property. It's not worth the time or effort or money.
100%.
Yep, same here.
Take more time to build it organically, but being able to get the visitors that are actually coming to your markets, really interacting around your towns, that's the way to go, in all honesty.
Cool. All right. Graham has asked, what free platform is best for scheduling Facebook, Insta, and X? And I keep saying Twitter, but he's right, X. Any good free platforms?
Facebook has a scheduling tool native to it, so that's what I would use.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Meta Business Suite is the name of that platform. You can go right in there, schedule to multiple. So with Seaside, we have our Shingatig Island page, and then we have our Ocean City page. I can go right in, copy and paste the content, the write-up of what I'm going to do, add the photos. It'll simultaneously post to Instagram and Facebook on whatever day I schedule it to at the exact time that I schedule it to. It's flawless. It's easy. It's free. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, we have a couple questions that generally are asking. The biggest question everybody's always asking about socials. How do we get more followers? Go, Tim, go.
For me, it's engaging. We've touched on it numerous times at this point, but really just being out and engaging, whether it's a part of the communities like we mentioned earlier, that's a huge get for us. We're always in there, like Tyann mentioned earlier. Just you see someone posting. A lot of times, our homeowners, they're our biggest ambassadors. They'll be in there. Hey, we're coming down for June 22nd through the 29th. Anyone know of a place to stay? And a homeowner or one of our friends, just that's not even in our company, will jump in there, give Elaine and Lance at Seaside Vacations a call. And then as soon as I see that notification come through, we're jumping in, or me, Jess, one of our guest experience manager, actually, she's very great about just jumping in there. Hey, yeah, give us a call whenever you're ready to do this. And as soon as they see that come through, they're going to jump to your page, see what you're about, make sure you're legitimate. And it's easy to click that follow button.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Lauren, anything to add?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just putting a little bit of money behind an ad with the goal of growing your following and making sure that the audience that you select to target to grow your following is the people that you want actually following your brand. That could never hurt. And honestly, you can, it's pretty affordable, I would say, social advertising is to reach a really large audience with a, even a $200 a month budget, or even just you want to run it for 30 days, $200 and see how many followers you can pick up. That's a great way to do it. And even just boosting posts here and there to reach additional folks, I think is a great way to grow.
One
Excellent.
last this topic. One thing is you can always link to your other social media platforms. I know we're on Facebook. Sometimes I'll share an Instagram or a TikTok post. I'll share the actual TikTok link so that it goes in there. So once they click on that, they're instantly taken over to TikTok. And they're like, oh, I didn't know this company had a Seaside, TikTok. Then they go there and they see more of our fun behind the scenes stuff. And it's an easy way to just get more traction in both worlds.
All right. Now, this question from Karen opens up an entire can of worms. So Karen and everybody, I'm going to tell you, we'll try to keep this super short because I did promise you all that this is a 1-hour webinar. We have 8 minutes left, and this question alone is an entire new topic. So Lauren and Tim, max 20 seconds on how to use hashtags appropriately.
Tim, you go first.
Yes.
All right. One thing, first of all, make sure they're relevant. It can seem overwhelming. It may seem beneficial to just spam as many hashtags as you want, but find the relevant hashtags. If you want to use ChatGPT to help you out with that, that's the way to go. It's a great resource. It's free, but just make sure you have relevant content, relevant hashtags.
Yeah, I would say, and Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say they're I don't use them on Facebook posts. It's really just Instagram where the hashtags would be important. And then I think probably definitely on, not the Twitter, X. Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I think it is important for sure on Instagram, but just a few very relevant ones where it's a conversation that you want to be involved in.
Very good. And with hashtags, also, it depends upon the platform as far as how many or if you even do them. What I love is that I believe, like Facebook, I don't even do hashtags anymore. It's like, don't even bother. Instagram, I do maybe a handful if I remember. Twitter, nope, or X. Yeah, I don't do any hashtags on Twitter or X unless it's sarcasm, which I'm really good at doing. And then LinkedIn, yes, but LinkedIn, you want to tag people. That's the trick on LinkedIn, is tagging people to get to be seen more. And then TikTok, of course, it's all about hashtags. Personally, I actually put the hashtags as part of my caption so that you're not reading a word more than once type thing. That's kind of what I do, whether it's right or wrong. I look at it as you're also experimenting all the time. Absolutely all the time. Okay. There's obviously a lot more on that content that could be talked about, and a whole other classes and everything, which I'm sure Lauren, we've already given you one task. May as well add another sheet, as a download lead generation type thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, oh, I totally forgot to mention this. I'll tell you guys one more thing, then I will pick out one more question to answer. On Touch Day's blog, we actually have in a post, an article about 100 different social media posts that you can do. So we will put this link in the video, in the email afterwards as well, to this post. Alice has assembled 100+ ideas for social media. So you can literally take that and get your entire social media calendar set up for a year or longer. Because remember, you can actually repeat things. I've noticed that the best accounts on Instagram, they actually take that B-roll and they mix it up into different reels. So they might only have 10 clips, but you can mix those up in all kinds of different ways with all different music, and they'll create many, many different posts with the exact same content. Okay, something to think about. All right, so now, I'm sorry, Roxanne, Facebook ads is a completely different topic. We can't do that. I'm sorry. We have 4 minutes left. We talked about hashtags. Yes, we've had a lot of people ask, what was that tool again? So Lauren, if you want to take 30 seconds and talk about later.com, and then I will wrap it up after that.
Sure. Yeah. It's just later.com, and you can connect all of your social channels. So Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, even LinkedIn. And then I think the best part about it is, I mean, it's obviously great in terms of scheduling things out, but you can load all of your content at once. So it is in a library that you can organize like digitally. And then the link in bio is that really great feature that you can add to your Instagram or TikTok actually, and it's like a visual link builder. So if you post a featured home, when people click your link in bio, they'll see the picture of the home and can go directly to it. You see that on a lot of news outlets, socials. So it's similar to that, but it's a great tool, great analytics. Absolutely, I think worth it.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And one other person asked, what was the code? Excuse me, the code again for Touch Day, it's Influencer Queen or just Queen, either one will work. But go to touchday.com/influencers with an S. But I really, really want to thank you, Tim and Lauren, and then Bello in the background for helping us as well. Really appreciate you guys helping me out on this webinar, and everybody that attended. Fantastic attendance. We will be sending out a video, an email with a link to this video, as well as Tim's socials. Tim and Lauren, both of your socials, but I want to ask you guys, will you put your personal socials in there also? Because I think it's really important for folks to follow personally as well as follow a business. Because again, remember folks, it all comes down to being intentional, to engaging, and not being perfect. All right, that's it. We've got it. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to y'all later.